is Wanjiku Ngumba, and I'm going to tell you about my experience during community service for my leadership class. So for my community service, I decided to do it with the school. There's this event that goes on every year in the culinary department, and it's called the Veritage Miami. Now, it's formerly known as the United Way Miami Wine and Food Festival, and the point of this event is to raise money with the United Way Fund for education, financial stability, and health throughout the South Florida community. What it does is bring over like 3,000 people in the hospitality industry, everything from sommeliers to chefs to brewers and winemakers, and they pretty much go through various events and raise money with each event that they do. Some of the events that they do are like a craft beer tasting where like over 1,000 guests enjoy like 200 different craft beers. There's also a different wine tasting where they do something similar to what they would do at the beer tasting but with a wine. And then my favorite event that I work every year is the interactive dinner. The interactive dinner is different because it's held at the Intercontinental Hotel downtown Miami, and what happens is that about 1,000 guests are invited, and we as Johnson & Wales students help them prepare an interactive dinner. So what happens is that each chef comes up with a signature dish that's usually served at the restaurant that they work at, and they try and demo it for a crowd. So because there's a ton of guests sitting at the ballroom at the Intercontinental, there's like about 1,000 guests. So what happens is that the ballroom is set up with different tables, like of parties of 8 or 10 people, and at each table there's a burner, and at the front of the ballroom is a demo table where each chef will come up and demo their meal, and at each table what we're trying to do is recreate the meal that they're doing with the participation of the guests. So our job as Johnson & Wales students is to just make sure everything is in order and make sure they don't burn the house down. So the kind of leadership skill that it requires, I would say, is participative leadership skill. It requires a lot of patience. As the events go along, as the courses go along, the guests become less and less interactive. They keep the wine flowing at these events. There's like plenty of alcohol going, so they become more about having a good time rather than making the food for the dinner. So it's our responsibility to just keep order and try and make sure that they're staying on task, which is a leadership skill that is actually really difficult to work with. These people are actually very high profile people. They're pretty much running like the big companies in the southern Florida area, so it's really difficult for us as students to try and tell them what to do because they pay a lot of money for this dinner, and at the end of the day you're trying to tell them what to do but in a respectful manner. So I believe it takes a really strong leader to be able to deal with these people, and also keeping the energy high in terms of participation. Like by the time the fourth course rolls around, like they don't want to cook anymore, they just want you to do all the work. But then again, that's not the point of the event. So trying to find ways in which to challenge them, to like make deals with them. I bet I can make this sauce better than you can, or whatever. Just small things like that actually keeps the energy high and keeps them participating. Overall, it was a really good event, and I really learned a lot about myself and my strengths and weaknesses in terms of working with people in authority, like in bigger organizations and stuff. And I think it displays a lot of leadership qualities in all the Johnson & Wales students who choose to participate in this event. I really had a great time, and I look forward to working with Veritage Miami again in the future. And I hope you enjoy learning about how I participated during my community service hours.